We have about 2.5 weeks left of winter until spring arrives here in the Northern Hemisphere. And the really beautiful thing about this year and this last little bit of winter is that we get to experience it in a waning moon phase, which, much like the energies of winter itself, holds this invitation for introspection and going inward and kind of releasing and softening and receiving. So we are gifted this invitation before going into the season of renewal and blossoming and rebirth and reemergence after our time in suspended animation and rest and formlessness of winter. And so that's the invitation right now, and it's so beautiful. In my work, I organize our soul's spiral path as mirrored to us by the cosmos and of Mother Earth as the 8 cosmic primordial archetypal frequencies. And so this early part of spring brings us into the archetype of the initiate, the student. Everything is new. There's an energy of openness and play and exploration and curiosity and tenderness. It can also feel quite vulnerable. It can feel a little wobbly. And those feelings show up and can kind of be the main thing that we feel, right? If you're like, Devin, I don't really experience that playful curiosity. I feel more, heaviness, or I experience lots of allergies and some of the other kind of shadow sides of spring. That is because we are carrying energetic weight and toxins. And so while so many are speaking to, and watch as it will only increase, they're speaking to the importance of detox and cleansing the physical body at this time, the real support and transformation comes from supporting our energetic bodies and cleansing ourselves of this kind of subtle toxic debris that we are carrying and holding on to. Stagnation will build up over winter. It's just kind of the nature of it. It's a still, inward, really just gooey, delicious time of rest. So stagnation will naturally ensue, which is why in spring, as the initiate, the student, that new playful lightness, we're finding our play and our lightness again. However, if we're carrying those energetic toxins, it's going to really hinder our blossoming. Think about when you're physically constipated, okay? You have a belly full of poop that has not come out yet. Do you really feel like playing and being light and jumping and just like fully present in your life? Like, no, you don't. You feel stagnant and dull and heavy. Well, it's the same kind of thing when we're carrying around these toxins and just residue of shame and fear and codependency. A lot of those things are really up right now at this time, because as we are venturing into new territory as the student, as the initiate, those bring up lots of feelings of shame and fear, which make us go back into our codependent behaviors and so on and so forth. So it's the same type of feeling, just on a very kind of more all-encompassing, subtle level of ourselves. So we can think about it being energetically constipated, which, by the way, if you suffer from digestive challenges, that's not the real root. The energetic is always dictating the manifestation of our physical experience. As sensitive, introverted beings, we are way more prone to the impacts of this stagnant, toxic, subtle body residue that we carry. And as I said, that will dictate and influence our physical experience of life. And so in the sensitive, introverted population, my people, I see you, I feel you, we are really much more prone to challenges that get at our endocrine system, our reproductive system, our digestive system. A lot of us have those kind of, idiopathic mystery symptom things that we deal with: chronic pain, chronic fatigue, etc., etc., etc. Not to mention, like I said, the shame, the anxiety, panic attacks, that anxious feeling, codependency, these things that just keep popping up into our experiences. They're living in these outer realms that are the building blocks and the guidelines of our physical body and of our physical experience. So as we are ushered into spring to be rebirthed and to then kind of actualize our next steps, our next iteration, it's going to feel so much more challenging and so much more unclear, so much more cumbersome if we're not coming from a clear, light, intentional place. And that's a lot harder to do when we're carrying around the extra burden. So what do we do? What do we do? It's not all like doom and gloom. It's not all failed. We're not just like stuck here. We can powerfully and intentionally move forward. We plug back into the art of spirally living. We listen to the essence of spring, and we receive the medicine that's here for us. We really deeply tune into our initiate, our student, our inner child selves. We work with subtle energy healing practices. We journey. We work with plants in all of their very forms. They're the four main forms of plant medicine, being foods and herbs and oils and flower essences. We do embodiment work, and we bring movement to these places that are really gripping and holding on to things that we just don't fucking need anymore because they're weighing us down. I'm having this image right now of, if I were to plant something and then like cover it with a bunch of stuff and not feed it, and maybe plant something in sand that doesn't grow well in sand and then cover it with a bunch of rocks, like it's going to have such a harder time. It's not going to thrive as fully as it could if given the most beautiful and nourishing environment. And dear one, you have the power to give yourself that nourishing environment. And lucky for you, I am curating this 2-week adventure for us to, in community, go in and clean up some of these pieces, to welcome spring, to address these residues that we don't need anymore, and to really receive. That's what keeps coming up. That's what this is about. We are releasing to receive, receiving to release. And if you show up with an open heart, it's going to be life-changing. Come hang out with us. The exchange is only $111. It's very experiential, as opposed to me just spouting information at you, because I don't know about you, but information overload is a real thing, and I'm kind of over it. So there will be guided journeys and subtle energy healings and rituals and embodiment practices and creative and art explorations and sisterhood and brotherhood of whoever joins us, open to all. So if this sounds like something that is really piquing your interest right now, it's for you. Hit me up and I would be happy to welcome you. The exchange is only $111 and I can't wait. We begin on March 11th, so next week. All right? So many spring blessings to you. Really feel into these places that are just weighing you down, because this year, especially this time, it's needed all of us to just blossom and bloom. So give yourself that environment, okay? Mwah. Love you.